What's going on, guys? Welcome to a Ticker Tactics video where I talk everything football. Now today I'm going to talk about what has happened to Manchester United. Now, as you all know, since Sir Alex Ferguson has left, the club has gone into a little downward cycle. Like, everything's just gone wrong and they're not living up to expectations or what everyone was used to. Now, it's hard to live up to someone who's been there for 26 years, who's constantly been given trophies and good experiences for 80,000 plus people, regardless of race, age, no matter what. He's made people feel like a massive family at Manchester United. During his time, he won 13 Premier League titles and constant reminders. Even on his last season, on his last match, he drew 5-5 with West Brom. You know, he just left on exciting notes. He had a 65% win rate, what is better than Mourinho, Roberto Mancini, and all other like Arsene Wenger and other Premier League managers of the era. He has 5 FA Cups, 2 Champions League titles, and many other, Super Cups stuff, Community Shields, and all those other stuff. And he's reached such a point that in his career, notes and stats like that just look so small because he's such an amazing manager. And people need to understand that he's impacted the club so much when he left, and he's just a one-of-a-kind type of person in this world. Now we're going to look at the comparisons between Mourinho, Moyes and LVG. Personally, out of those 3 managers, I don't think they did anything super wrong. I just felt like it was hard for you to forget about someone like Sir Alex Ferguson. And in this day and age, for you to come in, you have to make an instant impact or you will be sacked. Ferguson obviously had bad years, but because obviously when you have 26 years at a club, there's more trust and you're gonna bound to have more chance of winning trophies. Even though I'm not gonna say that any of these 3 can match what he's done. So I'm gonna look at the stat line for those managers since Ferguson left. Since 2013, when David Moyes joined, Mourinho's stats has been the best in the 2016-17 season. He had 16.4 shots per game with 12.1 chances created. Now, I like Mourinho, but when I watch his matches, you would never think that you're having that average of shots per game because he plays such a counter-attacking football. But it's not like Sir Alex Ferguson counter-attacking football where it's you break with immense speed. It's more you park the bus or you hold a defensive line up for a long period of time before you finally break out, and you might get a goal, might get a shot, but most of the time the goal doesn't really happen or we wait super late, and it's just awkward for United fans to watch. In the 2015-16 season, Louis van Gaal had the worst shots per game ratio with 10. Now, Louis van Gaal's game was very different to everyone else. He was focused mainly on passing, had people like Bastian Schweinsteiger and etc. And their play was just pass. But the pass wasn't like Pep Guardiola where it was pass from the back and progress forward. His was more like you pass around and you play defensive and you wait till they push up a little bit, then you might make a through ball or something like that. But in most cases, the passing was so boring and pointless that all it was a nice stat to end a match with 400 passes, but you're drawing 1-1, etc. Whereas David Moyes, in his first season, he finished 7th, which was a bit of a tough one because coming straight after Ferguson, for you to be saying that you finished 7th, no one's going to be happy. But everyone thought because he did so good with Everton and, made Everton into a club they are today as a mid-table club, everyone thought Moyes would be a decent replacement. A lot to live up to, but he didn't live up to expectations. But however, in that year, he had Rooney, who scored 19 that season. So he still had Rooney peppering in goals, and he still had this a little bit more exciting, in my opinion, football than Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal changed Rooney's play and changed a lot of player types and made people's confidence in United go down. He had like Wayne Rooney, who's England's top goal scorer and United's top goal scorer, playing centre mid and CDM, which in my opinion is a shocking thing as such. But people say it's Rooney's decline, but you can't be putting someone in CDM like that. In LVG's seasons, he finished 4th and 5th. So 4th in a 14-15 season and 5th in a 15-16 season. So once again, United just around the Champions League and just outside in Europa League. But in those seasons, not like we're finishing happy. It was very negative style of football and negative style of play, and it was hard to watch for any type of United fan. When Mourinho came in, he finished 6th after being called a chosen one, a special one, all the type of ones you want to think about. He really didn't make the ground running. But in that year, we got, bear in mind, 16-17 season, it was a tough season, and there was a lot of teams playing very good football. So he didn't do too bad, in my opinion, but 6th, once again, was not good enough. And then second in the 17-18 season, so last season, he came second to only Man City. What Man City was another type of level, because Man City is just on a ball roll, and I'll have videos on that as well. So Mourinho came second, and everyone made it seem as if he came 6th or 10th or something. But people felt like Mourinho's play and coming second was very boring, and United fans felt like he only played a certain way to come second, and that's all he wanted to have. Like, second was a trophy, but Mourinho didn't say it was like a trophy. That he was just trying to show that after all these years, he's brought United to second place, and they're getting a step closer to possibly getting the Premier League, even though it's not the case currently right now in the season. Now we're going to look at the club spending. Me personally, a lot of clubs are spending a lot of money, so I don't think that club spending should be looked at within every club, like Man City, Chelsea, even Arsenal now. Like, club spending is part of football now. It's not like before where you would have home talent constantly. Nowadays, you need to spend into your club to invest to make more opportunities. But for United, since Sir Alex Ferguson has left, the club has spent nearly 650 million, probably past that, with Mourinho spending near 300 million. And the type of players we've signed with that sort of money is not what some people deem as United players or United style of players. We have Ibrahimovic was class purchase, but we got him free, only pay his wages. The likes of Sanchez, who hasn't lived up to what we as United people thought he would, because he was extraordinary at Arsenal. Came to United and we're not seeing much of it yet. Or I don't know who else is playing there. We got Fred, Bailly, players like that, Lindelof, all those type of players. It's like different mismatch type of characters inside the team, where I feel like, I'm not sure if Mourinho's actually chosen these people himself, or he's having the board or directors and advisors telling him who to buy. I don't feel like it's him who's choosing, but at this point, I feel like if you're going to spend this much money, spend it on big names. Like, we had Toby Alderweireld, or however you say his name, from Tottenham. We could have purchased him, but they said that he was 29 and he was reaching his peak, or too old for United's team right now. But I'd rather spend that money there and know that I have a solid centre back and to move forward and have confidence within the United team. So obviously Sir Alex Ferguson last signing was Wilfried Zaha, and now Zaha has taken a massive U-turn and become number 1 prolific scorer at Crystal Palace. But would I say that he could come back to United and do much better than Martial, Rashford or Lukaku? I don't think so. His sort of style of play is different for that type of club because of where they are at. No offense to Crystal Palace. It's just like for Memphis Depay, when you come to United, they expect you to be scoring 20 goals at a rate, and it's like, it's going to be tough. Like Paul Pogba, for example, he's a centre mid, but everyone around the world expects him to be getting about 15 goals and about 10 assists a season, whereas he's a bit of a shaky point right now. But if you're going to spend money, and a club spending so much money, we need to make the right purchases. Or for that goes for any other club inside the world, you got to make the right purchases, like other clubs that just go out there and spend money. Like Arsenal, for example, have bought Aubameyang and Lacazette, who are deadly partnership, absolutely deadly partnership. Like, to imagine having those type of fast, pacey wingers, like, it's just amazing type of thing to have those type of wingers alongside each other. Aubameyang can slot goals at any time, Lacazette can twist and shoot, whereas you have Lukaku's more hold up play, and the Premier League now is quite fast. You have Man City with Sane, Sterling, Aguero. You could put on Mahrez at any given time. Chelsea can flex with Hazard, Giroud, Morata. People have opinions on Morata, but Morata has his class. Willian. So everyone has this type of player where I feel like, the club spending needs to put in a right place, and United can move forward. So next point is the lack of quality defenders. Since the solid four of Raphael, Ferdinand, Vidic and Evra have left or been sold, replacements have got a lot of criticism. In my opinion, only reason Raphael's there, he was not seen as a super class right back, but Raphael had the likes of Ferdinand and Vidic, who are absolute brick walls in defence. So he didn't have to work as much. He's kind of like a Kyle Walker, not obviously pace wise, but where Kyle Walker knows that he has someone like Kompany or Laporte behind him, or Otamendi, so he has confidence to move forward. And that's the difference between having a good line of defenders. Evra is just Evra. Everyone knows, hey, Mr. I love this game, Evra. He can swing crosses at given times. He can make runs. He's fast. He can track back. He can defend. Everything. Vidic doesn't play. He's just absolute clampers. That ball goes past Ferdinand, which rarely happens. Vidic there, he'll break your neck. Vidic is just that type of guy. And you don't really get a partnership like that as much. United right now, you have partnerships switching up so much. You might have one match where you have Rojo and Bailly, or you have Bailly and Smalling and Jones. Like, look in the Champions League, for example. Jones made a mistake. He's running, slides and scores an own goal against what was it, Valencia, I think it was. So even with that, it's just very shaky the way he plays. It's not like a United natural centre-back partnership. And the problem that brings is that everyone's going to be scared and not have faith in their defence. For example, you shouldn't have people like Pogba sprinting back, killing himself, thinking that, oh no, we've lost the ball, I got to run back. You have Martial, Lukaku going into halfway line, Martial, Rashford, Pogba, all running back, because they don't know that Smalling might miss the ball, or Jones might make a risky challenge. Like, I respect those defenders, I respect the line, but when you're so used to such a solid line of players or players around in front of De Gea, having that type of centre backs in front of you is a bit of a scary sight for United fans and any football club fan. For example, look, Ferdinand had an 81% tackle success stat compared to Smalling's 69%. Now that is a 12% increase for Ferdinand. That in the match terms, that is another 1 in 10, for example, of him making that challenge and making that class challenge that could tackle, pass it into midfield, pass it to wing, pass it back in, shoot, you got a goal. And that's how United is played, because you know that Ferdinand, Vidic don't mess about and they're getting almost every single challenge. And I don't feel like no one's really working around United right now to know whose job's whose. My next thing, I'm going to say my opinions on the solution for the club. Right now, I feel like we need to, if we're going to spend the money, like I was saying earlier, we need to make the correct choices for who we want, We need to look at centre-backs 100%. We need to get centre-backs who play solid football and not scared to make a challenge and know how to play through the back. We need to have some competition for Lukaku. I know we have Rashford who can play striker, but right now he's doing decent from the wing. So I feel like if you have someone who can compete with Lukaku, just like you have at Arsenal and you have, or Chelsea, you have Giroud and Morata competing, Lukaku needs another piece of competition that can boost him to make him more consistent, because he's an inconsistent striker. However, he scores in streaks, and that's the difference with him and other strikers. But if you have that competition with him, it will be much better. We just need to give time for Mourinho, because you can't have him lose one match and everyone's saying Mourinho out, blah blah blah, and having arguments. We need to stop that in football in general. In football, a lot, every minute is, as soon as you lose about 3 matches in a row or 2 matches in a row, it's get rid of this manager, he's not good enough. I feel like in football, we need to stop with that sort of behaviour. And with United, it's definitely making the right purchases. I definitely think we need to have Pogba pushing up in the cam position or left of the cam, and have CDMs a set, maybe just one CDM. Take the risk instead of having 2 CDMs. Take the risk and having one CDM, maybe Matic, and then 2 centre backs. I don't mind Smalling, I don't mind Jones, but I don't think them as a partnership is working too good. So I feel like having one senior centre back would work out. List down any of your opinions, comments aside on the comment section, on what you think about what United should do, and any other videos or anything you'd like me to talk about. This is Ticker Tactics, and thank you for watching.